Welcome back. Let's jump right into finding prospects through LinkedIn search. Now, if you've used LinkedIn at all before, some of this lesson might initially seem basic, but I'm going to be outlining some important nuances, so please bear with me. Now is the point where you should consider signing up for a 30-day free trial of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. This premium feature provides valuable upgrades to the limits and search detail of our efforts, as well as giving you the ability to save searches. There are additional capabilities that you may want to take advantage of even though they're not applicable to the missing link. Those would be things like sending in-mail messages to non-contacts. In-mail lets you send full-length message to non-connections. See more of who's viewing your profile. Create saved lists. Get automated insights like job changes for your connections. But most importantly, you get an unlimited number of searches and profile views as opposed to the standard version, which limits these activities. There are no published numbers for these limits because they're not consistent, but you are likely to encounter them throughout your prospecting efforts if you're not on Sales Navigator. Because of this, I highly recommend the Sales Navigator trial. 30 days may be all you need to generate enough momentum to then continue efficiently without it. We've seen it play out that way for various personas. Mainly, this dynamic exists because LinkedIn will begin suggesting new connections based on your existing connections. So once you have some critical mass within your persona, you may find yourself in a position where you can rely largely on the suggestions from LinkedIn versus having to continue with detailed search results. Sales Navigator is about $80 a month, but that does vary slightly if you pay annually or choose the team version. If you do start your free trial, keep these important things in mind. Set a calendar reminder about 29 days out to consider canceling the trial before being charged. Be sure that you trial the Sales Navigator product. LinkedIn has several premium packages and it's not terribly intuitive to sign up for the right one. Know that you could lose some data if you cancel. That sounds scary, but it's not as if you're going to lose your connections. Mainly, you risk losing saved lists and messages. For the sake of this program, the biggest concern is the message history because it will create an issue for your performance tracking and for any custom conversations you have with connections. Now, there is a way around this issue, and I'll cover that in the next lesson, but do keep this challenge in mind as you consider your use of Sales Navigator. Let's start with a quick walkthrough of how to sign up for the Sales Navigator trial, keeping in mind that LinkedIn updates their interface frequently. So this may vary a bit from what you see, and I'm showing you on the desktop site, so the mobile app will be very different. To sign up for the Sales Navigator trial, just log into your LinkedIn account and then look in the top right corner. Mine says Sales Nav because I'm already a subscriber to the premium product. But if I wasn't, this would say Premium. You could click on that and it'll take you to a page where you can begin the trial sign-up process. When you get to that page, you may be asked to choose your goal so that LinkedIn can suggest the best product for your needs. Instead, click on an Explore All Plans link and then choose the sales plan. You'll be required to enter your credit card info for the trial, but you can quickly end your trial without jumping through any customer support hoops. So it'll be easy for you to cancel at the last minute even if you choose to do so. Okay, let's walk through some sample searches. I'm going to show you the standard way and the Sales Navigator way. Let's start with the standard way. Okay, on the top of your screen, click inside the search field and then click People. That's going to take you to the search page where we want to click on All Filters. Now at this point, you're probably starting to recognize some of this from your persona work, so you'll no doubt begin to understand why it's ideal to build your personas around these filters whenever possible. It makes it that much faster and easier to construct your searches. All right, so we can start by choosing the types of connections. First would be current connections of mine. Second would be people where we have one person in common. And third-degree connections are where I know somebody who knows that person. As a general rule, we're going to leave those alone. We could also search by connections of a specific friend if we wanted to, and we can specify our geographic regions. For current company, we can specify multiple companies where these people are working. Same thing for past companies. We can also choose one or more industries. Most of these fields we can just have predictive type, so I could say banking, and it's going to give me suggestions. We can choose profile language if that's important to you. We can put in school so that you know where these people went to school. Note that you do have the ability to search by interest, but only those volunteer-related ones that LinkedIn has made available to free users out of the goodness of their hearts. Now, based on the new service category that we have on our profiles, we can even search by service providers within specific categories. Lastly, we can put in first name, last name, title, company or school again, noting that the title field here will only let us search for one title at a time. Even if you put in comma-separated values, it will not work. Now I'm just going to do something real quick. I'm going to do CMO, and then I'm going to choose banking as my category. And once you've set all of your filters, click the Apply button up here. And on the results page, you'll notice that you still have several filters listed at the top so that you can make any desired tweaks. One example of when you might want to do so relates to the number of search results here at the top. The size of your target market will vary based on your persona. In some cases, you may only have a total prospect pool of, say, a few hundred companies, although that's rare. In most cases, especially if you serve customers nationwide or even internationally, you may have thousands or tens of thousands of potential contacts. If you're into the six figures, you might want to revisit your persona and narrow it down. Again, it's not that you can't have 1 million potential customers. It's just that an audience of that size would need to be broken down into multiple personas, and you'll want to search, connect, and nurture with customized messaging for each one. So what's a good number of search results? Again, it's going to vary greatly, but in general, we like to see a pool of at least 2,000 to 3,000 for each persona. If your search shows fewer results than that, have another look at your filters and see if you can loosen any up. Although you can't really search for multiple job titles in the free search, you can perform separate searches for all of your target job titles to create a larger overall pool. For example, if your persona includes sales directors, VPs of sales, VPs of marketing, and CMOs, your individual searches may result in 500 contacts each, but combined you'd hit the 2,000 mark. Again, if your customer pool is very small, such as CMOs of NFL teams, don't spend time worrying about these volumes. The most important thing will be connecting with as much of your market as you can, and then nurturing the connections into customers. Volume's not a prerequisite. You're probably going to see various buttons in your search results. These variations stem from your LinkedIn account and each prospect. These can be related to your premium status, their privacy settings, your degrees of separation, or your current connection status. Regardless, all we care about at this point is finding a connect option. In most cases, you'll see it listed right here. For those profiles that don't have the connect option, my typical recommendation is to just skip it and move on. In most cases, you'll have a big enough pool that it just doesn't make sense to waste time on these edge cases. Now, if your search results in 2,300 users, it's unlikely that you'll complete your connection requests, which we'll get to in the next lesson, in a single session. So it's important that you can easily come back and pick up where you left off. In the standard way, there's no option to save a search to your account. So your only option is to come up here in the address bar, copy the full web address, and paste it into a document somewhere where you can grab it later. You could easily add a tab to your blueprint for this if that's ideal for you. Now let's run through searching in Sales Navigator. You're going to see a lot of the same fields here, even though the layout's a bit different. We can still enter multiple keywords. We've got all of our geography, school, industry, these sorts of things. As we scroll down, you're going to notice that we can finally input multiple job titles. That may seem like a small thing, but I can tell you from our experience that that's one of the handiest components of Sales Navigator. We'll have some additional filters that are available here, some of which can be valuable, groups in particular. To be able to say that you want to find people within a specific industry group, for example, can be very helpful in terms of filtering down your potential pool. So let me run a similar search here. I'm going to come up to industry and I'm going to do banking again. But this time, because I have the capability under title, I'm going to choose CMO. I'm also going to choose VP of Marketing. You see that right up at the top, it's already telling me how many results I have based on the information that I put in. When I click search, it'll bring back our search results, and you'll see that the listing here is virtually identical to what we saw before. The handy thing that we have in this particular case is a Save Search button right up here so that I can save it, give it a name, and come back to it later. Now that we're able to run robust searches to create collections of potential prospects, let's head over to the next lesson where we can start connecting.